Someone who's literally worse than Hitler.
You've said I'm a never Trump guy. Might be America's Hitler.
Someone who's the greatest threat to democracy ever. Someone who's going to stay in power forever, even though he left last time. I mean, minor detail. Civility, remember? Civility and joy. That's the Harris campaign. Everything's joy and civility. That won't buy you your groceries. It's not even true. They're encouraging this kind of violence, those kind of language, the things that they say on a daily basis. That's not civility, but I guess as long as the media says they're being civil in saying that Donald Trump is Hitler, it's fine.
This is tiring. Now that Trump has revived open racism, his son decided to go after civility. I guess it makes sense when your senators do things like this.
More time, you support Hamas, don't you? You support UNRWA and Hamas, don't you?
Sir,
Please.
I think it's exceptionally disappointing that you're looking at an Arab American witness before you and saying you support Hamas.
You know what's disappointing to me?
I do not support Hamas.
Bring yourself
I do not support Hamas.
You don't support UNRWA. You don't support Hamas. You don't.
I was very clear in my support for UNRWA.
Hezbollah, and you don't support Iran. You should hide your head in a bag.
Your time has expired. Please.
There's no shame left. You'll be booted from the party if you utter facts or if you consider anyone from an oppressed group a human being. Their rage increases while people like Maya Berry have to keep their temper and defend reality.
It's regrettable that as I sit here, have experienced the very issue that we're attempting to deal with today. The introduction of foreign policy is not how we keep Arab Americans or Jewish Americans or Muslim Americans or Black people or Asian Americans, anybody safe. This has been regrettably a real disappointment, but very much an indication of the danger to our democratic institutions that we're in now. And I deeply regret that, and I do hope that my testimony today has been helpful to understanding the need to respond to hate.
Everyone can see the source of the hate and division. It's just a matter of whether we embrace it or not. It's been nearly a decade of this guy stoking anger and violence based on outright lies. And since direct terrorism continues to be weaponized as patriotism, we've got communities afraid to teach children, hospitals closing, and assassination attempts. It looks like we're exactly where Maga wants us to be as a country.
That is not a path to prosperity. That is a path to slavery, and it's what Kamala Harris has been doing for 3.5 years.
With the former assassination attempt on former President Trump, are you and Trump considering having campaign events inside moving forward? And then also, was this event inside today because of that?
So I believe this event, that you'd have to ask the organizers, we'll follow up with you afterwards. I believe this event was already planned to be inside, so I don't think there's any change in security. By the way, with close to 500 patriots in the state of Michigan in this building right now and outside, I'd like to see an assassin try to come in this room. They come to the wrong place if you try to walk into this place right now.
I'd like to see an assassin come in here with all 500 of us patriots. I guess he's assuming everyone is strapped and are ready to shoot a couple thousand rounds at this fantasy assassin that'll let them live out his dream of turning that rally into a mass shooting. He should rethink what he's asking for, considering this guy was looking a little bit shady.
Close to 500 patriots in the state of Michigan in this building right now and outside. I'd like to see an assassin try to come in this room. They come to the wrong place if you try to walk into this place right now.
And this is the tight-ass venue that he was speaking in, hoping someone would trap everyone inside for a good old Wild West gunfight. This isn't tough talk. Everyone in there isn't a sniper with flawless aim and discernment to figure out who's the threat in the middle of a chaotic situation. None of these people are turned off by the perpetual thirst for violence because they've been convinced that they'll never be the victims, only their political enemies, because of this wild rhetoric.
But their rhetoric, it's not just over the top. It is potentially deadly. We need to see it toned down, starting on the left. I've already heard it from our side. Every one of us wants to focus on the issues, but every single time we see another attempt against President Trump, you got to ask yourself, is there a plot? 2 assassination attempts in 6 weeks? If I were him, his family, or those who support him, you got to start thinking, what's going wrong in this process?
Sadly, what's going wrong is exactly what Tim Scott is doing. You guys need to tone down your rhetoric, where you debunk our lies with facts and evidence, and voice your disgust at how we're ready and willing to follow Trump off of a cliff. We already toned it down, they say.
The radical left is trying to kill the Constitution by killing President Trump. That is their attempt here. They want to kill President Trump in order to assassinate and kill the Constitution so that our rights won't be protected, so the country will cease to exist, so that the Justice Department can be weaponized against citizens, so that the elites will have power to run over any individual who doesn't share their beliefs. And President Trump is the one standing between the American people and those radical Marxist leftists. And if they take him out, they're able to take the Constitution out.
Baseless ramblings of people that sound like they've run out of scary campfire stories to tell. That superintendent of Oklahoma Public Schools is on a warpath to make schools Christian centers of education, but puts his face way too close to the camera to claim that they're trying to kill Trump so they can kill the Constitution. Should we tell him? A massive fraud of this type and magnitude allows for the termination of all rules, regulations, and articles, even those found in the Constitution. Our great founders did not want and would not condone false and fraudulent elections. One of his former advisors that worked so closely with him that he caught his COVID infection says the same thing.
I am not going to bow to anyone when we have a president of the United States who disrespects the Constitution. He said,
your MSNBC contributor.
He said,
these are politicized indictments, and we have to call out the truth.
Martha, it's important to say that the president said, Donald Trump said, it's okay to suspend the Constitution. Now, the oath you take is to preserve, protect, and defend, not suspend.
And every day we have this political battle over what's reality and what's MAGA. Every day it's proven that their principles are based in lies. And the next day they admit it, but they blame the media for exposing it before claiming that it was necessary to lie. It's tiring.
I know that regardless of someone's background, their race, their gender, their geographic location, I know that people are deeply troubled by what is happening to that community in Springfield, Ohio. And it's got to stop. And we've got to say that you cannot be entrusted with standing behind the seal of the President of the United States of America, engaging in that hateful rhetoric that, as usual, is designed to divide us as a country, is designed to have people pointing fingers at each other. It's designed to do that. And I think most people in our country, regardless of their race, are starting to see through this nonsense. And to say, you know what, let's turn the page on this. This is exhausting and it's harmful and it's hateful.